Have to go back to work.
Oh, Tom.
It's part of the wedding. No Sicilian can refuse any request on his daughter's wedding day.
This is Tom Hagen, a character from The Godfather. He knows exactly how to run the family's affairs without ever raising his voice.
My compliments.
Adopted son of Vito Corleone, a lawyer, and the family's consigliere, despite his close involvement in organised crime, a noticeable feature of his psychological profile is his consistent preference for non-violent problem-solving. He helps build the Corleone empire through law, diplomacy and cold logic. A master of soft power, he listens, weighs risks, speaks calmly, and persuades through flawless argumentation. In the next few minutes, we'll break down the key scenes that most clearly reveal his essence to craft a detailed psychological portrait. And believe me, these scenes are worth watching. Steven Spielberg himself says so.
The Godfather, which for me is the greatest American film ever made.
So what makes Tom the way he is? His personality traits or psychological issues? How does he manage to stay calm under pressure? I mean, of course, I will talk about these questions in detail. But first, to better understand the motives behind his behaviour, we need a bit of context. Johnny Fontaine, Don Corleone's godson, arrives at Connie's wedding, the very day when the Don accepts requests from friends and allies, unable to refuse. Johnny is a popular singer, but his career is fading. He has a chance to become a true Hollywood star by landing a role in a major film, but Jack Waltz, a studio mogul who holds Hollywood in his grip, is adamantly opposed. The Don promises to help, and assigns this task to Tom. By the way, this scene sparked a conflict with the legendary singer Frank Sinatra. He was convinced that Johnny Fontaine was based on his life, leading him to hurl insults and threaten physical violence when he met the Godfather author Mario Puzo at a restaurant. Sinatra didn't want to be associated with a weak-willed man tied to the mafia. The scene begins at the epicenter of Jack Waltz's colossal success in his massive film studio, which is actually Paramount Pictures Studio, the one that financed shooting of The Godfather. Waltz is immersed in the glow of fame and surrounded by adoring fans, sporting his signature Hollywood smile. In an instant, he steps away from the cameras, and the mask of friendliness and charm gives way to a sharp, wolf-like business demeanor. Tom begins politely, almost deferentially.
Sent by a friend of Johnny Fontaine. His friend is my client. Would give his undying friendship to Mr. Waltz. Mr. Waltz would grant us a small favor.
Here it is, the Corleone Code. First comes politeness, flattery, mutually beneficial terms, really just a nicely veiled threat. But if you refuse, what awaits you is... But Waltz only smirks, not taking Tom seriously, probing what this mysterious friend can offer for such a favour.
And, what favour would your friend grant, Mr. Waltz?
Tom drops a bombshell.
You're going to have some union problems. My client could make them disappear. Also, one of your top stars has just moved from marijuana to heroin.
It's a velvet glove over an iron fist. Tom reveals the family's intelligence network without raising his voice, laying bare all of Waltz's secrets. This shatters the foundation of Waltz's confidence. In his Hollywood kingdom, there's an outsider, a Corleone informant. What else might this informant have passed on? After all, Waltz has plenty of secrets, and that's what threw Waltz off balance.
Are you trying to muscle me?
Absolutely
Now
not.
listen to me, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Let me lay it on the line for you and your boss, whoever he is.
He refuses the favour and unleashes a torrent of racist insults.
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, what greaseball goombas come out of the woodwork.
Yet Tom remains calm. These cheap tricks, shouts and threats don't faze him at all. He stays composed and in control, even when Waltz hurls truly humiliating insults at him.
I'm German-Irish.
Tom avoids direct threats, instead employing subtle psychological pressure. He offers Corleones friendship.
Be my friend? Good.
Hinting at benefits while delicately underscoring that he knows all of Waltz's secrets, without resorting to open confrontation, a skillful manipulation.
Respect.
This makes Waltz genuinely curious about who Tom really is.
I have a special practice. I handle one client.
This line raises suspicion. He's no ordinary lawyer, which is why Waltz orders his assistant to check on Tom. After confirming the truth of Tom's words, Waltz shifts tactics, inviting him to dinner at his estate. From Tom's interaction with the impulsive Waltz, it's clear that Tom Hagen embodies the introverted thinking type, characterized by logic, restraint, and a focus on internal principles. He doesn't fall for provocations or show emotion, as that would only hinder his work. We shift to the estate, Lavish, extravagant, adorned with artifacts fit for royal palaces, Waltz boasts, but Tom remains unimpressed. As I said, it's impossible to distract him from his mission. Waltz leads Tom to the stables, where he shows off his prized horse, Khartoum, a thoroughbred stallion worth $600,000, which adjusted for inflation would be nearly $11 million today.
I'll bet Russian Tsar never paid that kind of dough for a single horse.
This is no coincidence. It's symbolism of the highest order. The horse embodies Waltz's pride, his untouchable status, reflecting his own vision of himself as a Hollywood king. Unwittingly, Waltz has handed Tom the knowledge of his vulnerability. Tom got on good terms with Waltz. It seems like the deal is as good as done. He's been invited to a lavish palace, treated with respect, and now, at dinner, it's the perfect moment to seal the collaboration. But no.
Just tell him he should ask me anything else. But this is one favor I can't give him.
But this doesn't suit Tom. His goal is to secure Johnny's career, and everything else is just a distraction. Tom sticks firmly to Vito's assignment. It's in his nature. So Tom presses on. He knows Waltz is aware of the Corleone methods. Vito once successfully boosted Johnny's career with Luca Brasi's help, and now Tom deploys his final manipulation.
He never asks a second favor when he's been refused the first.
Those words are genuinely chilling, yet the veiled threat falls flat.
Now you get the hell out of here! And if that goomba tries any rough stuff, you tell him I ain't no band leader.
Waltz brushes it off, bluntly stating he's not afraid of Corleone, making the situation even more precarious. Waltz justifies his refusal with two arguments. The first,
Fontaine ruined one of Waltz International's most valuable protégés. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars.
and the second, but the most significant for Waltz.
He was the greatest piece of ass I've ever had, and I've had him all over the world.
Honestly, is all this risk of confrontation with the Corleones worth it? Waltz is clearly acting impulsively. The problem is, Tom knows that such a refusal signals weakness for the Corleones. If word gets out in the criminal world, it could spell doom for the entire clan. And knowing Waltz, he'd definitely spread the story to flaunt his status as the fearless king of Hollywood. This can't be forgiven. It's a matter of survival. Overall, as the saying goes, there is nothing new under the sun. The Corleone strategy, with Hagen's involvement in this scene, is a modern echo of Alexander the Great's imperial tactics. Mercy and aid to those who submit, or brutal violence against rebels as an example. This strategy ensures control through fear and reward. Both components are essential. Without either, the empire crumbles. Waltz made his choice. That's why Tom immediately heads to Vito, yet he leaves with dignity. At the same time, Tom shows no signs of anxiety, anger, or irritation, despite Waltz's relentless insults. He maintains cold-blooded efficiency, even when he realizes the negotiations have failed. Having exhausted all attempts at a peaceful resolution, Waltz leaves Tom no choice but to resort to violence.
Mr. Corleone is a man who insists on hearing bad news immediately.
The symbolism hits like a freight train. Waltz's most prized possession, the emblem of his power and masculinity, is destroyed. The Mafia knows your secrets and can strike at what you value most, yet Waltz himself remains unharmed. He fully understands that if they could silently infiltrate his bedroom, killing him would be no trouble at all, and he's alive only to do the Corleone's bidding. That's why Johnny gets the role and becomes a major movie star. As noted in the book, 6 hours later, Johnny Fontaine received a phone call from the executive producer of the film telling him to report for work the following Monday and pay attention to the director's work. The camera lingers on Waltz's face as his screams echo, forcing you to feel the terror. As for the psychological profile analysis, although Tom Hagen engages in criminal activity, his behaviour is driven by the cultural and contextual factors of the Mafia environment. This, combined with the absence of persistent disregard for social norms outside the Mafia context, deceit for personal gain, impulsiveness, aggression, or irresponsibility, rules out antisocial personality disorder. Mild traits of dependent or obsessive-compulsive personality types, such as loyalty or attention to detail, enhance his effectiveness as a lawyer and advisor rather than hinder his functioning. In fact, these traits are highly adaptive within his unique social and cultural context.
Respect.
Thus, Tom's behaviour shows no signs of pathology. Tom Hagen emerges as the archetype of a rational, introverted strategist whose actions ensure the stability and protection of the family, not as a reflection of antisocial tendencies. Importantly, Tom's behaviour is consistent across other scenes. For example, in the blackmail of Senator Patrick Geary, when the senator brazenly demands money, Tom quietly turns the crisis into a lever of influence. After an incident at a brothel, he legally saves Geary's career, effectively turning him into a Corleone puppet. In the conversation with Pentangeli in prison, Tom calmly and subtly guides Frankie toward a Roman way out, without stating it explicitly. Cold diplomacy and psychological pressure, without a trace of unnecessary emotion. In response to his demotion, Tom is naturally displeased, but he accepts it without resentment, maintaining loyalty and continuing to work for the family, a testament to his self-control and emotional maturity. Tom's archetype resonates widely in popular culture. For instance, Davos Seaworth, Game of Thrones, prioritizes people and conscience over titles. Like Tom, he keeps a cool head in crises and influences decisions discreetly. The difference is that Davos almost always chooses a moral path, while Tom prioritizes the family's benefit. Or take Alfred Pennyworth, Batman, a quiet strategist and mentor who tempers his boss's impulses. Like Tom, he operates through trust, facts, and calm. But while Tom is a corporate fixer, Alfred is a personal moral stabilizer, correcting not deals but character. I really appreciate you watching this video until the end. If it's not too much trouble, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like and a comment. It really helps the channel grow and speeds up the release of new videos.